everybody. Amanda Davis here, and this is going to be a quick scope for the Perry Girls group for PG Honor, but also just talking about financial freedom. And I'm here to make a difference in the lives of others by teaching you what I know and sharing with you what I know. So the question is, what role do finances play in your personal freedom, and what goals have you set in this area? And so for me, I mean, I feel like finances is definitely a big part, I think, for a lot of us and in our freedom. And so it is, definitely something that I would like to aim towards, and I think pretty much all of us want to. But as far as specific goals that I've set in the area, right now the main one is I would like to be financially in a situation where I feel financially free. When it comes time for me to retire, like that's what I would really like, is not having to worry about things. And so I still have a lot of work to do in that area. But exactly, you need money for food and fun and hobbies and pretty much anything. And we always tell the kids at work that mommies and daddies have to go to work to get them nice things because, the kids, they don't always understand that. And I'm working with younger children. So older children, like they have to go to school and certain things like that. But younger children in early childhood, where I'm at now, they don't understand why they're not able to stay at home and why mommies and daddies have to work. So we always tell them, even the youngest ones, the infants, they don't necessarily get it, other than you can tell when they're a little bit stressed out. But the 1-year-olds are old enough that they're starting to get it. So I will tell them, I'll say, mommy and daddy have to go to work because they have to buy your house or pay for your house, and they have to buy food, and they have to buy clothes. And so like I'll tell that to the 1-year-olds. I told it to the 2-year-olds all the time, and they definitely, because they could tell it back to you. Yeah. So, young children like that, like they don't necessarily like 1-year-olds are getting to the point that they're starting to understand it just a little bit, because they understand they're not at home. They get, excited when mommies and daddies get there to pick them up. They're a little bit sad when they leave. So they're definitely old enough to understand it just a little bit, especially your ones that are closer to 2. But, so I'll tell them that when they get dropped off, because if they're crying or something, just to try to make it better. But yeah, so I think for all of us, we want to have financial freedom at some point in our life. And I mentioned yesterday when we were talking about how freedom was different for my grandparents, how I do have a set of grandparents that put themselves in a position where they're financially free. Well, now it's just the one, but for many years they put themselves in that position. So it's definitely something that it would be nice to be in a similar position as them when I get into that age range. So things that you can do is save as much as you can when you can. You want to make sure that you're paying off credit cards and stuff like that. And it definitely helps only having, like, I only have one credit card. So it definitely helps only having one, because then you can keep up with it easier. And then the other thing too, and this is what I need to look more into, and that's what I was saying, I do still have a lot of work to do, is like investments and that kind of thing. But one thing too, one of my goals with my direct sales businesses is to have them help me with the financial freedom. So that's one reason that I joined direct sales, because there are certain people that have worked their ways up in their particular companies to a point where they are financially free, and they are some of the top leaders in the direct sales industry. And it's definitely doable. It just takes a lot of hard work, and I realize that, and so that's why I do what I can, as much as I can. But at the same, I do them, and in a way they're a little bit of a hobby, but they also are something that I take seriously, that I see as a viable option to help me on that path towards financial freedom. So we'll see what happens with that, but I'm 27, so I do still have time. To get where I want to get, and be in that position when I'm in, say, my 60s. if not earlier, but we'll see. But anyway, so thank you, Carol, for popping in live, and also thank you to all of my replay and web viewers. And I am going to go ahead, I think, and sign off on this scope, but also say that if anyone is watching this at a later point and you're not in Perry Girls and you're a woman on Scope, Periscope, you should join us at perrygirls.com. We have a lot of fun in the group, and something that we're talking about this month is freedom and it's exploring freedom. And so we've talked about a lot of different freedom topics, and today it was financial freedom for the Perry Girls Honor, PG Honor initiative. And we had 2 other PG Honor initiatives. We did one in May, and then we did actually 3 other, because we did one in May, and then in June we really technically did 2 initiatives back to back. But they're a lot of fun, and there's a lot of things just that are different to scope about, and get to know your fellow Perry Girls and Periscopers. Well, Perry Girls, since they're the ones doing the topic, but fellow Periscopers, if you're watching these scopes and you're not a Perry Girl, because I know sometimes we have the Perry dudes pop into our scopes and stuff like that. But anyway, so yeah, so as far as myself and financial freedom, I definitely would like to hit that point at some point in the future. And some of the things that I would like to implement, I discussed earlier in the scope, so I'm not going to say them again. But anyway, thank you again for joining live. Thank you to all of my replay and web viewers. And I am going to go ahead and turn this around for the thumbnail. And just say thank you again. I really do appreciate it. And I will see everybody later. Bye, guys. Thanks again.